Chocos and Chocolates, no number between. Chocolo Roberto here for another video review, this time with the Thornton Squares Salted Caramel. Yeah, so I was a bit not sure to make of these really, so since I think they're new anyway. I've certainly not seen them before this year anyway, and they've done a few different flavours. I think there's an orange one as well, maybe a regular one, I don't know. But yeah, of course, I've got to have the salted caramel, why not? Everyone else does. I thought it might be a bit like After Eights, that kind of thing. You know, you get those thins, you know, where you see them sort of supermarket own brands do their own sort of thin range, and it's like mint ones and things. I thought maybe those, but having looked at the description at the bottom, it says, what's it say? Crunchy chocolate biscuit base with a gooey salted caramel filling smothered in milk chocolate. Or in a milk chocolate. So, yeah, so the biscuit base is what marks it out as being slightly different actually. So it makes it a bit more like a biscuit perhaps. And to say that, yeah, on the back it says cocoa biscuits with salted caramel 25% and covered in milk chocolate 27%. There we go, yeah. You can see all the ingredients there as well. So per portion, one biscuit, 63 calories, 3 grams of fat, 2.2 of which are saturated. So most all the fats are saturated there. Suitable for vegetarians, as you can see. Peanuts, nuts, sesame egg maybe in it. Does it have palm oil in there? Can you see palm oil? Seems to be the thing at the moment, isn't it, to mention? I think it's, there we go, yeah. So it's got vegetable oil, palm, rapeseed. You can see that corner there. Yeah, so there we are. So, and lightbodyventures.com, made in the EU under license from Thornton's. Light Body Ventures, what's that? Thornton's Limited for Light Body Ventures. Sounds like some kind of fitness. I don't know, that's very weird, isn't it? Okay, I don't know what Light Body Ventures is. It sounds very odd, that actually, doesn't it? I don't know, I don't know what to make of that. Doesn't sound very chocolatey, that's for sure. Okay, yeah, interesting. It says copyright design 20 as well there. It's got some weird copyright design 20, Light Body Ventures. I mean, you see Thorntons.com or something on the side of it, but well, I don't know. I'm just out. So, yeah, apologies for something. I assume it's not anything dodgy, by the way. But yeah, obviously I've not looked at it. I have no idea what it is. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that, by the way. So yes, but quite a nice packaging, quite standard. I think this is the sort of Thornton's logo. This thing here, from doing some of the live reviews I've done. You know, it's a bit of a mundane logo to be honest with you. It just looks like a flowery type design that you'd have on some chocolate bars that they just have. But yeah, okay. All right, well, quite a big packaging, as I say. So I think we should. Looks okay, but I think we should get into it. Let's give it an open. Let's do it. Okay, well, let's get these Thornton Squares Salted Caramel open, or Thornton Salted Caramel Squares, however you want to say, and open. So crunchy chocolate biscuits, base with a gooey salted caramel filling, smothered in milk chocolate. So very nice, sounds very nice. Yes, let's give these an open. So I've done, let's see, what have I done? About 710 reviews now, or something like that. So in one of the corners, there'll be a link to a place of all my reviews. So if you like this one, after you've subscribed and like this video, subscribe to the channel, like this video, go check those out. It'd be great if you could do so. Also leave a comment after me, of course, as well. Okay, so it looks like they come in these trays. Now, I think you could immediately say that they look like they should be able to fit double what they do in each one of these. Okay, does it actually say on the box how many we get? Doesn't seem to say on the box how many we actually get in that one. Oh no, this pack provides 8 servings, each portion 13 grams approx. Okay, let's give one open then. Okay. Interesting then. Definitely could be packaged a lot smaller, I think, for sure. And you can see just how far they go up there. And I mean, let's just have a look. You know, you could basically fit. It's slightly going over there. Okay. Well, in fact, actually, no, here's one biscuit there. It's not two. Look, yeah, they're quite chunky. Actually, look at that. But some of them seem to be a bit flatter than others. This one seems to have warped a bit. Okay, well, you know, definitely don't need to be as tall as you do, and you can clearly see there. Yeah, let's have a look at the whole thing. Let's take one out and just have a look at it so you can see what we get. So it's got like a chocolate slab on the top and then a biscuit base. Interesting one, definitely unusual. Okay, so let's have a look. So the measurements here for the top of the square is about 4.3 centimeters. Now the chocolate is about half a centimetre tall. That's the chocolate slab. And the biscuit's about 0.4. And so the whole thing should be about 0.9 then, shouldn't it? And it is. Okay, but yeah, the bottom, the width of the square at the bottom is about 3.8 as opposed to the chocolate, which is about 4.3, 4.2. Okay. All right, but yeah, so if you look at the height, so 0.9 in height, the height of this, difficult for me to measure it overly well, but we can see the height of this tub here. Let's see, it's about 1.5 centimetres. There's more than that. Hard to measure actually, hard to see. 1.5, 1.6 centimetres high. It does dip in the bottom a bit more. You know, it's not quite flat at the bottom. But yeah, so clearly it can fit half again, if not, what was it, 0.9, yeah, so almost the whole thing again really, which I think we saw when measuring it before. So you could definitely fit a lot more in there, you know. I'm holding it down a bit there, but you can clearly see only a couple of millimetres comes over the top, which is again about right. Okay, obviously the lengthwise not too bad, but you can imagine, you know, there's all this gappage here in between them all. Okay, so let's try and see if we can dissect this. Well, it's got salted caramel somewhere in it, but I don't know quite where. Can we separate it? Yes, it's inside this square, so it's a bit like it is a bit like a sort of bigger, chunkier after 8. It's got something in it and just got a biscuit. It's just stuck on top of the biscuit, so it's got like salted caramel on the inside. So I kind of snap it. I can snap it. Okay, well, you get the gist of it there. It's just broken off a bit there. Okay, so you can see it's filled with salted caramel actually, isn't it? Well, caramel, yeah, salted caramel. So there we go. So not bad. And if I did cut it, ooh, there we go. So yeah, that's what you're up against. Yeah. So not bad actually. Definitely filled with stuff. You can see it sort of seems to be more chocolate than anything else, I think. Thin layer of salted caramel. Hard to find it really. Yeah, it's like a thick layer of chocolate. Definitely a lot of salted caramel there, though, I think you'd say. It's definitely there, so it just seems to be, that's a bit of an illusion. It's like a sort of, yeah, I don't know, there's definitely enough there. Chocolate feels a bit soft though. The biscuit's obviously quite hard as well. So it should be quite a good set of texture of these, so I'm quite excited about this one. So yeah, we should give it a taste. Let's do it. Let's give it a taste. Okay, let's give these Thornton's salted caramel squares, or square salted caramel taste. Yeah, so we've got one prepared earlier. It's basically got like a biscuit base and then a sort of square, or quite thick square with salted caramel. So let's bite it in half and yeah, see. Yeah, so we chopped one in half before. We couldn't quite easily tell us how much caramel was in there, so maybe by biting it we'll be able to tell. So I'm quite interested in the number of textures, but you can see it's kind of curved up a bit, this one, for whatever reason. So some oddities going on there, but could be a climate thing, I don't know. But let's give it a taste. Wow, it's a very you can see there the caramel coming through, but I still can't quite tell just how much is in there. If you can let it focus in. Interesting one. It's yeah, very sweet. It's very sweet caramel. The saltiness is there, but it tastes a bit more. It tastes, you know, almost actually salty rather than salted caramel, if that makes sense. The biscuit's quite soft as well. It's quite a, you know, it's got a crunch to it, but it's quite a chewy biscuit. There seems to be like a crunch inside the caramel squares as well, as if it's got like a little crunchy caramel in there as well. I couldn't see anything that. Milk chocolate 27%, by the way, it says. An interesting one. They're very different. You know, the textures and tastes are very different. They're not typical at all. Chocolate's not too bad, but you struggle to taste it too much because of all the sweet caramel and salted, sweet and salted of the caramel. So it's very sweet and very salty. It's an interesting one actually. I'm not sure what to make of it first, but it grows on you the more you have it. I like the textures, the difference in textures, you know, with the, let's say, the sort of soft chocolate and caramel and the crunchy biscuit. I think it works quite well actually. Yeah, I just think it's a bit of an odd. It's perhaps too sweet, the caramel. I think for me, I think it is quite too sweet, but I say it's quite mitigated because of the saltiness of the caramel. You can see there, I think a thin layer of caramel above a thick chocolate layer. But nonetheless, there's quite a lot of it there. You can see there. Yeah, there's quite a lot there. Let's say the biscuit. This is quite a soft biscuit. Yeah. Unusual, hard one to It's just a very, I think definitely separate these just wouldn't be very overly pleasant. The caramel's quite sweet, and a bit salty, and a bit too sweet normally. But I think it works quite well with the chocolate and the biscuit. And the textures aren't bad either. And so I quite like the texture of the biscuit. There seems to be some kind of crunch in there at some points from maybe some caramelly type thing. I'm not sure. I could be imagining that, but it might just be in the biscuit. It's not bad. I think there's just something not quite there about it, and I can't. For me, it's just the caramel is just not quite. It's a bit too sweet and a bit too salty in a way. It's a weird one, but it does mean it's quite distinct and quite tasty as a result of that. So I'm not quite sure whether it's a good or a bad thing. There's definitely something about it, but I just don't know whether I prefer it if it wasn't quite like that or not. I don't know. It's a very hard one to explain, really. That's why I'm kind of working my way through them, eating a bit too many of them. I think definitely distinct and not unpleasant, and you do get a good amount of caramel in there. Yeah. I mean, if you're a salted caramel fan, I would definitely check these out, because they are different than anything else I'd say, any other salted caramel offerings. I just think that perhaps just a bit too salty and a bit too sweet. I don't know. It's just a bit too much there. I think if it was just toned back slightly, I think it'd be a lot better. I think. Well, just better. I think. But it is quite distinct and it does work quite well, despite that. I just think it could just be slightly toned back, just a pinch, just to make it even better. I think. But nonetheless, it's not too bad. But I just, but I don't know. It's a difficult one to review, really. This one to rate, because it's just so yeah, because it's quite an extreme sweet and salty taste, really. So yeah, it's a hard one to sort of, I don't know, and it kind of works in a way, but maybe it's just too much. So I think I'm probably going to say a 4 out of 5. I think it's definitely above average, but I think it just lacks something. It's just not quite right. But I do like the biscuit texture as well. I think that's really good. Always works for me, biscuit with chocolate. It really does, and I think this one's a nice biscuit. So it's quite soft. I think it works really well. I think they are just nice and pleasant to eat. I think the presentation's a bit lacking sometimes. They do seem to sort of separate and be curving and things. Overall, I was impressed with these, and I think they're better than you'd expect. And I think they do look a bit mundane on the outside, and I think and especially when you don't really show the biscuit part, you just show the squares. You don't really know what you're getting. It's actually something a bit more. Well, I'll say a bit biscuity, a bit more special than what it shows on the front. So, all in all, better than you'd think, but just a bit too extreme with the salt and sweetness. I think if you just turn that back a bit, I think it probably would be a 5 out of 5, at least definitely a 4.5. But I think it's just a bit too much. Yeah, but having said that, it's still nice. It's just, I don't know, I just think it's just a bit too much, but it's still pleasant to eat, and all the textures are nice as well. As I say, in the chocolate you can't really taste overly well, but it's a good medium to obviously have the caramel in there. So no complaints. 4 out of 5. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that review. Take care, have a great day. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Check out the YouTube member program if you can. It'd be great if you could support me that way. Get some perks back as well, of course. Check it out. There'll be a link to it in the corner. If you go over the eye symbol. But either way, leave a comment or free. Please like my videos and stuff like that. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Thanks everyone. Take care and have a lovely day. Bye. See ya.